everybody, and welcome back to Doctor Who Makeup. Today I'm going to be doing the perfect palette tag. I'm super excited about this because I haven't done a makeup collection on my channel ever, I think. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the palettes that I own. I own quite a few, and these are just a small portion of them. Okay, so I have no idea who made up this tag. I've just been seeing it in my subscription box, so I wanted to do it myself. The first palette that you're supposed to pick for this tag is the one that you think has the best packaging. Some of these palettes that I have are limited edition. I'm so sorry that you can't get them anymore, and that is the case with this first one. This is the Tarte Bon Voyage palette. It was limited edition for Christmas 2 years ago, so 2014, and it is gorgeous. It came in this whole set. It's just so pretty. I love purple. It's my favorite color, and it has gold, and they're flowers, and it's a great palette too. It's definitely, it could go with number 3, the most versatile palette, but honestly, it just has the best packaging. It's super slim, so it makes traveling really easy with this guy. And honestly, that entire set is the first and like the only thing that I own by Tarte. So it's a great palette, and it's definitely has the prettiest packaging. Number 2, the palette with the best color payoff. For this, I kind of cheated, and I decided to pick a personal palette, and this is the Coastal Scents Hot Pot palette. I think this is like the 28 clear case, and I have 28 or however many different shades. I have 4 of these guys. This is my pink palette, and honestly, I love it. Every single shade from the Hot Pot line is super pigmented, with the exception of a few, but the majority of them are really pigmented, and they are so pretty. And when I got them, they were 99 cents. I think they're $2 originally, so you can't pass them up. If you want to see some of the other Hot Pots that I have them posted on my Pinterest, which is linked down below. The third palette is the one that is the most versatile. I had a really difficult time picking this one because there are so many palettes that I just love, and I would love bringing them with me. Too Faced has some really great palettes where they combine their eyeshadows with their blushes and bronzers, but for this one I have to go with one of my longtime favorites, and I think it's been in my beauty favorites for like for a few years now, and that is the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I use this guy in almost every single one of my tutorials just because it's amazing. It has a super pigmented black, it has a great white, all of the shades in between are just really pretty, and they work really well together. It's great, and it's super tiny, and it travels nicely, and as you saw, that mirror is ginormous. The second one, the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette, is also really great, but honestly, I love the first one more because it has a black shadow. This one, the cover shade, that one is my favorite, and I do love it, and I use it pretty much every day, but honestly, you gotta go with the first one because it's the first, it's the best. Number 4, best for traveling. Honestly, I'm gonna go with these two again. I love these guys. They're super tiny, super small. They are perfect for traveling. I do have a few knockoff Urban Decay Naked Basics palettes that have more color selections in them. If you want to see those, I think I have an eBay haul up. I know I've definitely shown it in a video. I will link it down below. I'll put up a little card right here. Those ones are also really great, and because they are so tiny, you can fit more of them in your makeup bag. Number 5, biggest regret. So when I first started purchasing eyeshadow palettes, I did a lot of research because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on one. And I thought this palette was going to be amazing and I would use it every day, but honestly, I've used it maybe 4 times, and that has been in different tutorials, and I never found myself reaching for this palette. And even though it was super highly requested by some of my favorite beauty YouTubers like Emily Noel 83, it's not one that I reach for. And this is the Balm's Nude Tude palette. Now, the issue that I have with it, it came with the brush, which is awesome. It has a nice size mirror. It's just, the colors, I don't know, they just don't go well together in my mind. There's a lot of really like dark eyeshadows, and then there's some really light ones. I never wear yellow, and the pinks are too similar, and I have them in so many other palettes that it's not worth it for me just to reach for this one. The white's great. That's the only color I really find myself using from this palette because it is super pigmented. The dark brown and the black, they're not super pigmented. I don't know, I don't reach for this one. That is why it's one of my biggest regrets. Number 6, the palette with the best color names. This for me was really tough because a lot of the palettes that I have don't have names on them, and they're pretty much just the high-end ones that have names. So I picked this one only because I couldn't not have it in the perfect palette tag, because I use this guy so often, at least 4 or 5 times a week, that I had to include it, and it does have really cute names. It is the Stila in the No palette. This guy is beautiful. Also, big mirror, needs to be cleaned. Just The shade ranges, they're matte, they're really pretty, they're super pigmented. My favorite is Rain, and in this palette they have kind of like a naturey theme. So we have air, wind, desert, clay, earth, driftwood, fire, rain, smoke, and ebony. They're just really cute names and they describe the shadow colors so well. I love it. And that is why it's the palette with the best names. Okay, number 7, the least used palette. This one was tough because I own so many palettes that most of them don't get used, right? Because I'm using my favorite ones every day. But there is one palette in my collection, it's this one, that I have never used on my actual face. I've swatched it and it's really pretty, but I've just never used it because I don't know why. And this is the, what is it? The Profusion Bare 10 Shadow Eye Palette. I don't know if it has an actual proper name, and yes, this little thing is supposed to be like a version of the palette. It's just a sticker. They are pretty colors. Like it's a neutral palette and it's pretty. The colors are pigmented. I've never used it. I don't know why I've never used it. It's always sat underneath my Urban Decay Naked palette. It's just I grab other products instead of this one. So this is my least used palette. Will I get more use out of it now? We'll have to see. Now the most used palette. This one is also tough because I didn't want to have too many doubles in this tag. These guys, the Urban Decay Naked Basics palettes, are probably my most used, but this one I also had to mention because I use it so frequently just for one shade. Well, okay, technically 2. And it is the Stila in the Light palette. Just like Stila in the No, they have really cute names, but this guy has one shade that Stila is famous for, and that is Kitten, and that is the one that I use so frequently. Kitten is this one right here. It is so pigmented and so buttery and just amazing. I've heard rumors that it cracks really easily, so I've been very careful with this palette. I don't travel with this palette just because of that reason, but it's gorgeous. It's a pink, purpley, neutral based palette. It's just gorgeous. I love it. The entire top row is my favorite. Like I couldn't not pick one as like a least favorite. This shade, this gold one called Gilded. No, this one's bubbly, sorry. This one's gorgeous. The rest of them I don't really use just because they're not super pigmented. But I mean, I will go into this dark brown, which is Gilded Gold, quite often. The most loved palette is something completely different, and I only love it because there's one eyeshadow in there that is so beautiful, so pigmented, and just like my favorite eyeshadow that I own out of every single eyeshadow. And this is the, you're not gonna believe it when I say it, but it has been in many of my beauty favorite videos, the Forever 21 Natural Eye palette. This guy is much loved, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is one shade that has been used more than the rest of them, and it's this one right here. I love pairing this one with Maybelline's Bad to the Bronze Color Tattoo. I will apply that first, and then I will apply this guy with my finger right on top, and it's so pigmented and just so pretty. It's like a pressed pigment. That is how amazing this palette is. All of the shimmery shades are gorgeous. They're so buttery, so creamy. It's beautiful. They have reformulated the entire line. They have 2 more palettes. They have a smoky palette and a nude palette, I believe. This one's the natural. And I do have both of the other 2, but I have them with their new packaging, and the quality isn't there, whereas these guys are amazing. So if you can find this palette with this gold packaging, I would suggest picking it up because it's amazing. And I think I paid $7 for it originally. I think they might have bumped it up to around 10 or 11. But it's totally worth it. And finally, the last palette is the one that you would bring with you on a desert island. Now, there are a lot of palettes in my collection that I would love to bring with me, but there is one that I own out of all of them, and I will eventually show you my makeup collection, but there is one that I would bring with me to a desert island, and this is why. It is the e.l.f. eyeshadow palette. I do not know if you can get it anymore. It was in their back to school collection many years ago, so I don't know if you can still get it, but it's so gorgeous. The mirror is huge. Look at that. There's my camera. There are so many eyeshadows. They range from mattes to shimmers to neutrals to bright coppers to a green to a navy to a black. The color range is just gorgeous. I absolutely love the 2 matte browns. They are my favorite, especially the lighter one. It's what I use in my crease pretty much every day if I'm not using Cover in the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette number 2. And this guy, it comes with a brush, which is, it's not a bad brush at all. And if you were on a desert island and you needed to start a fire, the size of the mirror would come in so handy, and a brush like that, you could get all the bugs off any kind of berries that you find. That is my Desert Island palette, and I have brought it on vacation with me. It's gorgeous because it has all of the eyeshadows that you could ever want and ever love. So those are the palettes that correspond with the questions from the perfect palette tag. I have seen some people do a perfect palette tag number 2. I'm gonna watch a few of those videos, see if I want to do it, but for now, these are the palettes that I love and they fit all of those questions. Let's hope I get some more use out of these two, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!